From the iHLS studios in Tel Aviv, this is Homeland Security Weekly Report.
Hello and welcome to this weekly edition of the Homeland Security Report. I'm David Jones. Efforts to identify the source of ISIS recent weapons shipments. An unidentified aircraft dropped weapons and equipment for ISIS southwest of Tikrit over the weekend. Western intelligence sources say that there is a concentrated effort to identify the source. According to a news report in the Iraqi media, Iraqi sources said this is not the first time. An unknown aircraft dropped weapons and munitions to ISIS in the Yathrib area south of Tikrit, several areas in Salahuddin and in Mosul. A news report prepared for the United Nations Security Council warns that the militant group known as the Islamic State, ISIS, possesses sufficient reserves of small arms, ammunition and vehicles to wage its war for Syria and Iraq for up to 2 years. Those weapons are sufficient to allow ISIS to continue fighting at current levels for 6 months to 2 years, the UN report finds, making ISIS not only the world's best funded terrorist group, but among its best armed. About 40% of lone wolf terrorists are driven by mental illness, not ideology. Researchers have long studied the relationship between mental illness and terrorism, particularly lone wolf terrorists. These cases include persons such as the radical Muslim who killed a soldier outside Canada's parliament, the right-wing extremist who opened fire on government buildings in Texas and tried to burn down the Mexican consulate, the Al-Qaeda-inspired assailant who killed an off-duty soldier in London, or the Iranian Shia who, in the name of Sunni fundamentalism, killed 2 in a Sydney coffee shop last week. Lone wolf attacks do not require sophisticated planning, making them difficult to intercept by using popular counter-terrorism strategies, including communication surveillance. A study funded by the US Justice Department that there is a significant link between mental problems and the making of a lone wolf terrorist, leading to a cautious hope that future attacks may be avoided. Out of 98 lone wolf attackers in the United States, 40% had identifiable mental health problems, compared with 1.5% of the general population. The US and Russia getting ready for future combat? Well, according to recent reports, President Vladimir Putin is planning to deploy nuclear missiles and nuclear submarines. There are also reports concerning Russia's plans to use nuclear submarines as platforms for battle robots and underwater drones. For quite a few years now, Russia has been modernizing its armies and weapon systems across the board. Washington is also focused on new systems. According to Popular Science, the US Air Force is developing a top-secret, long-range strike bomber. This future aircraft will be among the platforms the White House could dispatch on missions to wipe out a target from the map with nuclear warheads. According to International Business Times Australia, the Pentagon is also providing ground troops with the equipment that makes them better warriors. Sometime in the future, American combat snipers will be firing off with a .50 caliber slug that makes use of laser and optical sensor technologies to zero in on a target with optimal precision. The new bullet has already passed the test stage and is currently in the refinement phase. This means that the close combat weapon could be ready for use soon. High alert in Jewish organizations in France following the attack in Paris. On the morning of Wednesday, January the 7th, gunmen attacked the Paris offices of the French satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo, killing 12 people, including 2 policemen, and injuring 10. Witnesses of the attack spoke of sustained gunfire at the office as the attackers opened fire with assault rifles before escaping. In some Muslim neighborhoods in Paris and other cities, there are stockpiles of weapons, a security expert told iHLS. The source added that judging by the video footage, the attack was performed by professionals. The expert said that the Muslim terror cells in France are well equipped with heavier weapons than just assault rifles. Well, it's on the Israeli shopping list, but will the budget allow? The KC-46A Pegasus tanker program hit an important milestone recently with the successful first flight of its engineering test plane. The Boeing 7672C, a test version of the KC-46A, which lacks the refueling boom and other tanker equipment, was in the air for 3 hours and 32 minutes. This marks the first test flight of any kind for the KC-46A tanker program, which will produce 179 new planes to replace the aging KC-135 tanker fleet. The tanker replacement program is a major focus for Boeing's defense arm, as many of its programs are winding down. The Israeli Air Force, the IAF, is currently using old Boeing 707s that have been converted by Israel Aerospace Industries IAI. The IAF has signaled its need for new aerial tankers, and now the only obstacle is the budget. Well, that's it for this week. Thank you for watching this edition of the Weekly Report. See you at the same time, same place next week, and for further information, please click the link below.